20th season of Sunday Night Football welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
So out of 12, Seattle fans around the Monument in D.C., their 5-2 Seattle team, chance to stay tied atop the NFC West. Big pivot point for Washington, trying to snap the three-game slide. And a moment ago, Melissa spoke with the Commanders quarterback, Jaden Daniels.
Jaden, you missed last Monday night with a hamstring injury. What, if any, limitations do you have tonight?
Ain't no limitation. Ain't letting me play football.
All right, sounds good. So you had a magical season last year. Started every game, but you have already missed 3 games this season. What have you learned from your time on the sideline?
Yeah, I think you just have time to reflect and feel different ways to grow. I mean, adversity, God puts us through certain situations for a reason. So I feel like he put me through the situation to kind of reflect and grow. Now I'm back on the field, so we'll see what happens tonight.
The team has lost 3 straight. So how do you turn that around starting tonight?
Yeah, we got to go out there and execute. This is a great team that we're playing. They're hot. They're on a roll, so we got to go out there and execute and put up a fight.
Jaden, have fun tonight.
Thank you.
Number 2 pick in the 2024 draft, ready to get going with the Commanders here tonight. Coin toss a few seconds ago, the posse, the great Washington trio of receivers, Gary Clark, Ricky Sanders, and the Hall of Famer, Art Monk, whose jersey is being retired tonight. One of the best. Deep ties tonight for Dan Quinn, the Washington head coach. He was the Seattle defensive coordinator for those back-to-back Super Bowl appearances just over a decade ago. And on the opposite side, year 2 in Seattle from Mike McDonald. What a job he has done. Down the road with the Ravens, he was the defensive coordinator, takes over the Seattle job, came to the road. They won 9 straight on the road, 10 of 11 away from the Great Northwest in his first 2 years. Washington won the toss and they want the ball, so the Commanders will receive to begin here tonight. And settling into Northwest Stadium, 27th season that this has been Washington's home. A lot of news about a move back to the district and the old RFK site coming up the next 4 or 5 years. Good kickoff man for Seattle. Veteran kicker Jason Myers set to get the party started tonight. Jalen Lane and Luke McCaffrey, who has had a very good kickoff return season, second in the league, 30 yards per return. Seattle 5-2, Washington 3-5. Perfect, nice football. Off we go here from Landover. Bouncing in the target zone, picked up by McCaffrey on the bounce. And Luke, he stopped at the 26-yard line by Mike Norris, and here it is. Washington offense.
Jaden Daniels, Cajon High School. Ja'Cory Cross-Camille, Arizona. Luke McCaffrey, Rice. Evo Samuel, South Carolina.
Chris Moore, Cincinnati.
Zach Ertz, Stanford.
Lambert Tunsil, Divide Tree University. Chris Paul, Tulsa.
Tyler Biadasz, Amherst, Wisconsin. Sam Cosme, Texas. Josh Conley Jr., Oregon.
There's a big name missing. Their best wide receiver, the Pro Bowler, Terry McLaurin, re-aggravated his quad injury in the loss last Monday night at Kansas City, so he's missing his 5th game of the season. Daniels, the Commanders begin from the 26, and he's going to take off at 29-yard line. Leonard Williams, the veteran up front, stops him there. So Jaden Daniels, Heisman winner a couple of years ago at LSU, the offensive rookie of the year last year. Melissa talked to him about the injuries. He hurt his knee in week 2, missed a couple of weeks, and then 3 games later, it was the hamstring that forced him to sit out the loss to the Chiefs, and Marcus Mariota got the start in KC. Second and 7, Daniels finding nothing. So takes off again. Goes to the 32-yard line. So 2 scrambles shows you that, as he told Melissa, he's ready to roll.
You're going to see some match zones come into this team. Watch the way these linebackers jump right to these short routes. And it's forcing Jaden Daniels already to pull that ball down. It is a defense that believes in giving you nothing. They don't want any free passes, any free looks, and let their pass rush go to work.
Jeremy McNichols is the back, and on 3rd and 4 against that Seattle D. That brings 4. Daniels throws it over, complete for the first down. Sam Ertz still doing it. The tight end catches it at the 40-yard line. Turns 35 in 8 days, but a big part of this Commander offense.
It was interesting getting a chance to talk to Cliff Kingsbury, the offensive coordinator for the Commanders. And basically he said, look, Chris, I'm sort of in charge of what's called on first and second down. And then after that, Jaden's on his own. I go, he really is the guy when you get into those big moments that you want him to have a little room to be creative. You saw it there.
Pass with 40. On the edge, trying to keep it alive. Put it up for grabs. And it's incomplete. Good fight by John Bates to make sure that it wasn't in the wrong hands for Washington, as Drake Thomas, the linebacker, was there in coverage.
One interesting thing now for Seattle on defense, they got Devin Witherspoon, who's a terrific player, Pro Bowler both his years back, and Josh Jobe has done a good job on the outside as well. So to start this game, Reek Woolen, who made the Pro Bowl as a rookie, not in the starting lineup.
Samuel, who is rocked, flagged down as Samuel's down at the 44.
We got penalty flag.
Three of the game. Ernest Jones, the top tackler for Seattle. There with the big contact.
Bill Vinovich is the referee.
Personal foul, blindside block, offensive 63.
Yeah.
The rule used to be, if you got in on the inside shoulder and sort of pushed him back, you got a chance to not...
Tyler by that.
There, it's kind of changed over the years to where your shoulder pads are facing back towards your goal line or the other way. And Biotish, the center, used to be at the Cowboys. That big flag will back it up to second, along 2nd and 25 here for Washington.
Now the pass rush goes to work.
Twisting inside, it was Derek Hall. Daniels taking it to the outside, out of bounds at the 30-yard line against the Seattle defense.
Mark Smart, Boise, Leonard Williams, USC, Marlon Murphy, Texas, Shannon Nwosu, University of Southern California, Ernest Jones, Waycross, Georgia, Drake Thomas, NC State, Devin Witherspoon, Illinois, Nick Warren, South Carolina, Kobe Bryant, Penn University, Ty Okada, Montana State, Reek Woolen, straight out of Fort Worth, Texas.
Chris told you a lot of the changes in the back there. Julian Love, the safety, is out on injured reserve with a hamstring injury. Need to get it just past midfield. 3rd and 21. Daniels from the pocket. Throws it complete. For about 8 of it to the 39, but that's it. After one first down, Washington forced to punt it away.
Leonard Williams standing out right in the middle is really the guy that draws most of the double teams whenever he's on the field. Good speed inside to Marcus Lawrence has been a major factor for him as well. But generally, Leonard Williams is the one that gets all the attention inside.
Torrey Horton, rookie's got a touchdown on a return against New Orleans this year. Waiting to accept the punt from Tress Way. Veteran, terrific kicker. Backs him up. The fair catch forced by Horton at the 10-yard line. Terrific kick. 52. Some more in the all-new Hyundai Palisade Hybrid. And by T-Mobile. One was the number 2 pick of his draft, the other the number 3 pick of his draft. Nathan Daniels had an opening drive. Now it's Sam Darnold's turn. Sam started with the Jets in 2018. Had a few stops, as Chris alluded to at the top. But now he is in year 1 in Seattle and continuing his good play from a year ago when he was with the Minnesota Vikings. Nice punt by Tress Way, backs Seattle up. Seahawks start at their own 10. Kenneth Walker's the back. Over Michigan State, to the right. Over 6 to the 16-yard line. So this is start number 81. Against the fewest round of a career for Darnold. He's 40-40. 4th team in 4 years. It was a rough finish the last regular season game and then the playoff game in Minnesota. But the first 16 games, outstanding. Big reason why there's a lot of comfort from Mike McDonald. The brain trust the Seahawks to bring Darnold in.
Got the first down. Yeah.
On the season for the rookie out of Colorado State.
Sam Darnold just surveying the field and his man coverage. He got to pick whatever he wanted to pick on that one. And for a team that's thin at wide receiver, seeing Corey Horton make that first catch, that's big.
Both teams thin at receiver tonight. This is the star receiver for Seattle, Jackson Smith.
Got the first down. Yeah.
Third-year man out of Ohio State on the move to move the chains.
Superstar, there's no other way to say it. He leads the National Football League by almost 100 yards coming into tonight, and he has been sensational. He said he just basically picked up his mind. He wanted to be the best receiver in football. He went and told Mike McDonald, his head coach, as much, and he's backed it up.
500-yard games already this season. Sideline throw is ruled a catch by Horton at that sideline.
Got the penalty flag.
Personal foul, shot block. Offense number 40. 15-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
That is Robbie Oots, who is the fullback who is returning to the lineup. Missed the last four with
Robbie Old.
If the tackle is engaged, if Lucas is engaged, then you cannot hit low in that situation. And Oots back in the lineup after dealing with an ankle injury, but it looked like he almost had broken away, and I'm sure Oots would tell you as much.
So both teams with 15-yard offensive penalties on their opening drives, and that'll back the Seahawks up to first and a quarter of the field. Some of the penalty yards back. Here's the rest of the Seahawk offense.
Sam Darnold, USC. Ken Walker, Memphis, Tennessee. Corey Horton, shout out Fresno. Jackson Smith and Jigba, The Ohio State University. AJ Barner, Michigan. Elijah Arroyo, the U. Charles Cross, Mississippi State. Greg Zabel, North Dakota State. James Sundell, North Dakota State. Matthew Bradford, LSU. Abraham Lucas, Washington State.
Missing Cooper Kupp injured Thursday in practice. Jake Bobo, the other receiver, also out.
I a fourth stud.
You might get a few of those here tonight.
I'll start. Offense number 72. Right guard penalty. Still second down.
That was the right tackle, Lucas.
And we're seeing, Mike, a lot already. The Seattle Seahawks are a very good team playing from the edge out, right? They've struggled a little bit running inside, put up numbers, but from the edge out, they've been good. The Commanders, on the other hand, are a very weak team outside the edge. So already we're seeing a lot of jet sweeps and throw it out wide. Let's get it on the edge and force these Commanders to make some plays.
So part of the game plan there. Kubiak, the 38-year-old, his first year as Seattle's offensive coordinator. Switch up the back to Zach Charbonnet. Michigan with the lead. Smith and Jigba again to the 47-yard line. So he has been busy in the early going. 3 touches on the first 5 Seattle plays.
To some extent, everybody wants to be Travis Kelce, right? Just get down here, turn around, get you the free 15 yards. Those plays are a lot of fun to catch the ball in space. For a receiver, you don't get that all that often, especially if you're the #1 receiver in the National Football League. So very creative ways to just try and get him the ball.
It was first and 25. Now it's 3rd and 3. Bobby Wagner looks over and sees the Seattle uniforms. He's to wear those.
One matchup. Oh, didn't get it.
Got the first down. Yes.
And it's lost as he comes down at the 45-yard line. A.J. Barner, the tight catch and the run, got back on it, and he has a first down.
Probably the number one thing that you see out of Sam Darnold as far as improvement, watch him go through these progressions. Didn't like it. He wanted to take a look outside. That was choice number 3. You can see it easily. His feet will mirror each of those choices.
Washington fans want a challenge. It looked like there was a third step there. No challenge from the Commanders.
Got the first down, yes.
Looks like he has the first down at the 32-yard line. Showed the replay on the big board. Fans were trying to throw challenge flags that they don't have.
They cannot allow this to happen defensively. If you allow Kenneth Walker to get on the edge of your defense, you are going to have an awful night on defense. They came in, their game plan, they knew what they had to stop. They knew what the issue was, and they have not been able to stop it yet.
That was the previous play, the punch out after the second step and then making that third. So he had it in time. Walker making Louisville along for the ride to the 26-yard line. Here's the rest of that Washington defense.
Jake Martin, Cherokee Trail High School. Deron Payne, Alabama. Moon Dog, South Carolina. Vaughn Miller, Texas A&M.
Frankie Louis, Washington State. Valley Wagner, Utah State and Howard University.
Marshawn Lattimore, The Ohio State University.
Mikey Sarenstill, Michigan.
Jeremy Reeves, South Alabama. Paul Martin, Fort Myers, Florida. Trey Amos, Ole Miss.
Rough first half of the season for this defense. They gave up 432 at Kansas City last week. 2nd and 4. The Seattle play has gotten at least a half dozen yards until that one. Stopped at the 23-yard line, just short of the first down, is Walker's second-round pick back in 2022. For Doak Walker, one of the top running back in college when he played for the Michigan State Spartans.
Probably the key to this whole resurgence for Sam Darnold in his career is the fact they're playing him under center. And they're getting the running game going, and they can go play action, but it really fits in just great.
AJ Barner comes up there, and so Seattle's his
A false start.
everywhere movement on the Seahawks.
Close start. Up to throw 6 or 7. Third penalty, get third down.
South Cross.
Philadelphia is saying, see, it's not as easy as it looks. AJ Barner up underneath the center, and obviously that snap counts a little different.
Barner was quarterback in his high school background. Every tight end who played quarterback, welcome to the tush push world. It's 3rd and 5. Washington, great pressure. Darnold moving.
Got the first down, yes.
For the 13-yard line. Walker was contacted. He's down there. That's not anything of value there. This Martin picks it up. It is a first down for the Seahawks in the red zone.
Pressure all the way around, and here's where the coverage has to come from, and really no chance whatsoever. Walker too good. Once you square him up at that point, there's no help anywhere with that cover 0. That's just the pitch and catch. Good read by Darnold.
Nice opening drive for Seattle, even with a 15-yard penalty. This is play 11.
Come on. Here's the field, yes.
Pass interference. Defense number 2. Stop now. Automatic first down.
And Mike, what's happening to this Commanders defense is
More
they're
shot,
not
lots
doing
of
a great
more.
job getting pressure on their own. So they're having to blitz. And they've given up 22 big plays already. So they came into this game and they were going to try to make some adjustments to not give up as many big plays. But consistently what they found that is if they don't blitz, they don't get pressure. If they don't get pressure, they get picked apart in zone defenses. So they have runners on the outside, but tremendous pressure on Marshawn Lattimore and Trey Amos and Mikey Sanders still, all those guys, that's tough.
We'll detail it later. They've been decimated at the wide receiver and the defensive front in terms of injuries. First and goal, Seattle from the 3. Walker bats on the outside. Jeremy Reeves will not let him get there. The veteran safety stepped in after Will Harris went out with a broken leg. Good stop there.
Like, one of the other things that we've talked about is the fact that Cooper Kupp is not in the lineup. And Cooper Kupp is like having another guard out there. He is the guy that digs out those safeties and some of those goal line and short yardage runs. So not only missed in the passing game, but in that run blocking game as well.
Drive that has taken half the quarter. And gone. Throwing.
Touchdown. Yes. Oh, hold on. There's a flag on the field.
Flag on the play. In the end zone. See which way. It'll be on Washington and a Seahawks touchdown.
That's our courage. Defense number 23.
Yes.
And the Seahawks pay off a long drive with a TD for the rookie.
Torrey Horton, what a drive for him.
Straight almost.
But this is a very Cooper Kupp-like route on the outside. You saw Torrey Horton go in and work hard against that outside leverage and just force his way inside and then break all the way across the other way outside. But clutch performance, when you have receivers out, you have a Torrey Horton step up like that as a rookie. Pretty strong.
The point is added by Myers. Horton had been shut out. No receptions in his last 2 games, but he gets in the end zone for the 4th time in his rookie season.
In with Zoe Saldana, but mostly they just played with the new iPhone 17 Pro. At T-Mobile, get the new iPhone 17 Pro on us, plus save up to 20%. Check the math.
Tonight's 4K Skycam coverage is delivered by Walmart. Perfect weekend weather-wise here. The first weekend in November. Temperature 50s are comfortable out. Take a look at Northwest Stadium here in Landover. We got a long look at the Seattle offense, too. That drive 8 minutes, 7 seconds by time, the longest of this season. Different players back there on the kickoff here, at least one of them, Jalen Lane, with a touchback, and part of the reason why, Melissa, was an injury on the opening kickoff.
Yes, an early injury to update you on. Commanders wide receiver Luke McCaffrey, he is out because of a shoulder injury. He came over to the sideline. The athletic training staff was looking at the top of his left shoulder. He was grimacing in pain. He went immediately after that into the x-ray room. But again, the Commanders will play the rest of this game without Luke McCaffrey.
It has just been that spot all season long. We mentioned earlier, Terry McLaurin is out with that quad injury, and McCaffrey, Noah Brown has missed the last half dozen games. They called up Traylon Burks for this game because they're very thin at the receiver spot.
And let's throw Austin Eckler in there as well. He basically is a receiver at the running back position, so arguably 3 of their most explosive players.
Handed off to Ja'Cory Merritt, the rookie running back out of Arizona. He gained a couple of yards. He only played 1 game at Arizona, but that's where his 3 college tour ended up. A guy whose nickname is Bill, and that's the way everybody refers to him.
Which we appreciate. Bill's a lot easier to memorize. That was good. We got a t-shirt with Bill written all over the front of it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
That's nice. They got nothing. Great. He's the 25th and final running back taken in the draft last spring. Shot the first down at the 28-yard line. So no receiving threat, missing of several receiving threats. Jaden Daniels has been busy on the ground. 4 runs in 8 plays.
Sometimes this match stuff is a good thing, sometimes not. Watch the way they run out of here, and when Daniel sees that, he's going to take off and run. So that match, when they turn their back like that, there's opportunities.
Third and a couple on Jalen Lane, the rookie out of Virginia Tech, in motion. Seattle shows pressure. They bring 5. Daniels flips it. Contested catch. Ertz goes up to get it.
Draw no penalty flag.
For the moment, it's a Zach Ertz first down, finding Nick Emmanwori, the rookie DB for Seattle. He's talking a lot with the guy who's been in the league 13 years.
Pass. Holding. Defense number 3. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Nick Emmanwori.
Nick Emmanwori, I remember watching him out of South Carolina. He is a big, strong, fast. He was one of those guys that could do everything as far as testing is concerned. And he's a good matchup on tight ends.
High pick, 35th overall pick of the draft. He's been good so far. Third time. Ski Merritt gets past 35, 36. Can get 3 on that carry. A couple times from the NFC Rookie of the Week. Had a terrific showing in the game against the Giants early on this season.
Yeah, if you've got a t-shirt, you can call him Bill. The last few games, though, Bill hasn't quite gotten it going the way that he did early in the season, just averaging about 3 yards a carry, and that's a little bit of the story of this offense, too.
Final minute of this opening quarter. Witherspoon back in the lineup. Makes a play-yard shot of the first down. It'll be 3rd and short for the Commanders.
What a play by Witherspoon. There's Jackson Smith and Jigba. He's had a few runner plays as well. But this is what Devin Witherspoon can do for a team. This looked like it was going to bust for some big yardage, and he slowed it down, waited for his help, and left him short of the first down.
5th overall pick in the draft, and he has played to that his first 2+ years. 3rd and short, looking for space. It's McNichols, and he gets stopped by that Seattle front.
Does the other good one.
Collins.
Oh, is that right?
That is absolutely right.
Things America finds out on a Sunday night. Mike Tirico, Chris Collinsworth, Melissa Stark, Terry McCauley, our rules analyst, with us as well. So it is 4th down, less than a yard. Washington has the offense out there. You see the success they had in these spots last year, and it's been the reverse this year. Coming out to go for it. Krosky Merritt has the back.
Respect to Marcus Mariota, this is the difference maker. When you have a guy that can make these kind of plays the way that Jaden Daniels can, you can't play defense the same way. You can't congregate all your defense inside and stop the tush push and all that, because you have to play him.
Just a couple of those 4th down opportunities against Kansas City. A pop pass, Deebo Samuel on the edge. Hard hit there, Samuel. Gets about 8 to the 40-yard line. And one of the Seahawks took the worst of that was Josh Jobe from his own fellow defensive back. The athletic training staff right there on the spot to check out Jobe. Took a real direct shot. Gain of about 9. Here's the hit.
It's legit.
Ty Okada's fellow DB just trying to come in. And you know when it's Deebo Samuel on the edge, you've got to bring it with intention, because Deebo's such a strong, powerful runner still. So Rick Woolen will come in. You mentioned Chris, he was not out there at the beginning of the game for Seattle.
Yeah, he missed week 6 with a concussion, so it is keep an eye on these guys' time. But those are 2 guys right now for Washington. They have to win this game for them. Jaden Daniels, Deebo Samuel. Those have got to be the two primary guys. We'll throw Zach Ertz in there as well. But those are the guys that have to get it done now.
Seattle opening drive is 12 plays. This is Washington's 14th of the night. Back to this toss, and right in the middle of it, nothing going on with Krosky Merritt. Seattle on the other side of the line with Derek Hall. Missed the last couple of games with an oblique injury.
One thing you will see out of Seattle is they stay on the move up front. And so for an offensive line, it's always very difficult to try to figure out where that hole is. But you could tell the anticipation was that they were going to cut that thing back to the right based on the blocking scheme. And they just have to stay on that path. Whatever they call them, you got to stay on that path.
And that's when you're talking about that rushing defense up front, how good Seattle has been against the run. 3rd and 2. Bringing extra bodies. Daniels.
Got another penalty flag.
And you can see Ernest Jones, as his helmet came off, asking for the foul.
Personal foul. Face mask. Offense 75.
Yes!
15-yard penalty. Repeat third down.
Which he'll get as the left guard, Chris Paul, picks up the 15-yarder.
Well, Chris Paul was about as spread out as he could be. We were talking about these stunts. Watch at one point, he's going to have his hand there on that face mask and his hand on the neck of the other one, and he's doing the best I can. Throwing helmets off. We're getting wild out here already, but at least Chris Paul was trying to get it done one way or another.
Protected his guy, that's for sure. Yeah, he's popped in the line. That's the 3rd 15-yard penalty on the offense. In the first 17 minutes of this one. 3rd and 17. Blitz coming. Daniels stays in and puts it up for grabs on the sideline.
You sucked it, yes! I Okada.
It's his first career pick, and it is Seattle ball on the turnover.
When you grow up out here,
to try and probably just throw it out of bounds, but got hit as he threw, and then watch the footwork here by a safety. Pretty incredible stuff, and he has been celebrating on the sideline ever since. Perfectly done, and deservedly so.
And that toe just down before the elbow. Great shot at 32 for Seattle. Jarek Reed, backup DB, who's staring his mouth off like, come on, go get that. He did. Darnold 6 for 6 on the opening drive. Steve
Got the first down, yes.
42-yard line. Pick up of 18 and a Seattle first down.
But Mike, that is the situation again. They've been running the football all over Washington. So what do? Back underneath center, first down, you go bootleg. It's the reason their numbers are astronomical when they do throw the ball on early downs. Number 1 in the National Football League, because you have to play that run so hard and you're not ready for those bootlegs.
Nothing. This Washington defense needs somebody to step up. The veteran Eddie Goldman, now a decade in the league, no game.
We're starting to see some of those big guys coming in there, because what you have to do against Seattle offensively is you have to stop the run. You have to play the run, or they won't do anything else. They'll just run it and run it and run it. And so now you get that one big play and you come back with a stop. Here's your opportunity for Washington.
Second and 10. Smith and Jigba catch number 4. Could be a few yards shy of the first down as the pushing and shoving.
Oh, we got pushing and shoving going on.
Be careful there in front of the Seattle bench as he took the extra push in Amorio. And everybody separates. And we'll have a third down. I'm glad you said that, because they're 21st in the league in rushing yards per game. It's not like this is some dynamic, unbelievable running game. but they stay, quote, on schedule all the time.
Did I tell you that Clint Kubiak was the offensive coordinator? That's all you need to know. That name alone will tell you everything.
And that tree, of course, is Dad Gary, the head coach of the Broncos, Super Bowl 50, terrific coordinator as well.
Shot the first down. Yes.
Lowers his shoulder, gets to the 26-yard line. Juan Martin took the worst of that. And he'll need some medical attention. Yes, he will.
You'll see the effort to get up the field, but so many times when you start trying to come after the passer, it creates opportunities. And Kenneth Walker is the guy with the speed, but Charbonnet is the guy you fear running right at you.
And Martin with the athletic training staff out to look at him after going low to take out Charbonnet. Training staff looking at him. Darnell Savage, 7th-year man out of Maryland, his replacement. And the Seahawks are on a roll. 16 plays, 9 first downs. Darnold of 8. They operate from the Washington 27. Charbonnet inside the run. 21-yard line. 5-6 yards here is keeping them in control of the game plan a third of the way through this one.
So they just keep changing it up, right? It looks like the same plays, but it's not. How about a little trap play this time? Come out here, kick it out, start getting aggressive, flying up the field, kick that guy out of there, and just looks easy what they're doing so far.
Second and 4. Pitch Charbonnet trying to get to the edge, and Washington won't let him do that. It was Jeremy Reeves running up from that safety spot. He shut it down. Bobby Wagner over there as well, the former Seahawk, to set up third down.
Jeremy Reeves is a madman. We were watching him the other night, and he was making plays just like this all over the field. He was just throwing his body around and trying to create some real collisions, and now he's giving his team a chance. Now they have to create some pressure because you've got to drop back and throw the football. They're no longer under center, no longer to throw to the right.
Juan Martin injured a couple of plays ago, back in. It's 3rd and 8. Rushing 5. Darnold taking a shot.
Touchdown. Yes.
Rookie has 2 in the first 2 quarters.
Wow, number 2 is now a trend. Torrey Horton, what a release at the line of scrimmage he had against Mike Sainristil. Watch this. This is game, set, and match right now. It is over. There is no chance that they're stopping that play. And Sainristil is sort of one of those young, hot corners coming in, played well last year. No chance on that one.
Jason Myers on for the extra point out of the Michael Dixon hole. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns by the rookie. By Accenture. You think of Seattle and you think of the Legion of Boom. Well, maybe there's a new Boom coming. We hit the halfway point of the season. This has been the best running defense in the NFL, and they've kept people off the scoreboard. 7 games, 20 or fewer points in 6 of the 7, and no back has gotten going. 100 yards, 16 games in a row we have seen 100-yard rusher against this Seattle defense. Washington trying to get to this.
Lots of football. Yes, the Seahawks got it. Connor O'Toole
is in business at the Washington 26-yard line.
Ruh-roh. And you've got a defense playing like this, an offense playing like this, and now you're going to throw in a little special special team magic on top of it. That is not good. And defensively, you have to strut back out there and hold the fort right now. I mean, this is sort of game on the line here.
Brandon Peely, defensive lineman on kickoff coverage, forced it. And Mike McDonald loves it. We are seeing more big guys, defensive linemen play as part of that short area coverage on kicks. And Peely comes up with the big one. Recovered by O'Toole. For the 26. Seattle right back at it. Darnold 9 of 9 on the night. Takes another shot.
Touchdown, yes. Elijah Ayo.
You want to know how Seattle is doing this? They are forcing teams into playing pure bump and run, man-to-man coverage because they can't stop the run. You can't stop the run, you get the quick releases, and you get the touchdowns. You think that one was good? This was his second choice. JSN was wider opener on the other side. Anybody could have thrown that one. This is just pick your poison out here tonight.
Oh, not good. It was a break.
Back in 30 after this from AWS. Their two losses opening week to the 49ers by 4, and then a three-pointer against a very good Tampa team. Just hits in the landing zone, was on the way to the back, and the touchback ball being the 20-yard line. Debo Samuel was back there to try to get that for Washington. So last year, Seattle won 10 games, didn't make the playoffs, right? So Mike McDonald, their coach, was watching the playoff games on TV, and he's like, we can do that. We just need to be more connected and more together. They're connected together group right now.
Yeah, and what did I say to him? Something last year about, oh, you're facing the big monster.
The Packers.
Yeah, the Packers. And he goes, I took it back away from that. And he was like, wait, we want to be the big bad monsters, right? We want to be that. Tonight, they're the big bad monsters in all phases. I mean, Washington can't play defense because they can't cover them and they can't stop the run when they don't play man-to-man on the back.
So desperate to get it going. Jaden Daniels from the top. And almost ahead of John Bates. Incomplete. Down to the field of Melissa.
Yeah, Mike, and this Seahawks defense that has been dominant is feeding off the success of the offense and the special teams tonight. After that touchdown, the fumble recovery, the defensive players stood up, hyped on the sideline. They were waving at the crowd, telling everyone to go home. And then the Commanders fans said, we have 4 quarters. And they said, nope, bye-bye.
I think we're going to stay. We'll be here. So we appreciate those guys sending everybody home. Traffic will be with us. Still a ton of time in this one. Sikorsky Merritt takes it inside for about 5 yards. And go back to what you were talking about, Chris. We had Seattle against Green Bay, and the Packers were on a roll. They were the NFC North team, right? And that was the reality that rookie first-year head coach Mike McDonald was facing. Young coach, too, and following a legend in Pete Carroll. So a lot of things were not working their way. And he's just started to establish something, and adding Sam Darnold has given them a chance. Wow, they have made a statement here tonight. 3rd and 5, Washington in desperate need of one here. Devin Witherspoon blows it in. And Washington probably going to punt this one away, although the offense stays out here. They only need a yard. It's marked forward progress, 4th and 1. Dan Quinn was very aggressive in the Kansas City game. He's going to stay that way here and keep the offense out for now.
I think he's thinking, well, they're scoring from everywhere and every way possible. We have to get ourselves back in this game somehow. Snap it to Jaden Daniels and see what he can do.
Jeremy McNeil
A false start.
Daniels had something going there, too. They'll punt it away now.
Full start. Offense number 86. Right here, Billy. No fourth down.
I don't really get this one. Let's see, does Ertz go early? Half step. Could there be considered motion? That's what I used to try and tell him whenever I do that. That was in motion.
So Horton has 2 touchdowns. Receiving goes back. Makes for Tress way to kick it this way. Get it out of the way and it'll roll. Be a nice average booster for a very good kicker. 63 yards, no return. So something's gone positive for Washington. Sets up our nation's capital. Team knows it as DC buzzing. Back from last year to now, it's top 5 in some big categories. So maybe Minnesota was a fit, and these Seattle threads, including these cool throwbacks, are a fit as well for Sam.
Maybe he's just a good player.
That could be true.
Yeah.
That could be true. We saw during his college days at Southern California. 3 overall pick from the 13, first down. Second down to Kenneth Walker, takes it to the 18-yard line, pick up a 5.
Well, what's working for Sam Darnold? He is working through these progressions as fast as I have ever seen him. Like in dance class, right, Mike? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. There you go. He sees the third one, and there it is. His eyes just move so easily and right on target. Watch his feet. The exact same thing. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Gets back to the last look. Hits it for a big first down, and Sam Darnold is in a rhythm.
Walker, stop there. Lost the yard again. As Washington defense shows up. It'll be third down for McGee there on that play. That was really neat with the eyes and the feet, and that's a little concept thing. The feet take you where you need to go.
It absolutely is, but I think there's more to it than that. When we were talking to some of these coaches about Sam Darnold, they were saying, you know, when we had him in San Francisco, he was a nice guy. He's not so nice anymore. You get cut a few times, and all of a sudden you want things done your exact way. And he's taken over that leadership position with his physical skills. Now we have some.
No gain, leaves it 3rd and 5. Washington needs a play. Darnold finds it.
Got the first down, yes.
Game for Jackson, Smith, and Jigba, and Darnold ties his career best to open a game, 12 of his first 12.
Do you know how hard it is to have these monsters chasing you around inside the pocket and keep your eyes down the field and try and make a play? He really has so much confidence going in his game.
Here on first.
Got the first down. Oh, he's going for it, he's going for it. Touchdown, yes. Cody White.
A couple of different places with a 60-yard score.
They fake, corner reacts up, and you go for a touchdown. That's all it is. Under center, they can't stop the run, so they all start jumping into the run game, and then you get behind them, and you can see Trey Amos looks like he was hurt on that play as well. It's just been so much fun to watch. This is the way offense is supposed to be played. The run game plays into the pass game, vice versa. What a performance, and look out, America. Seattle is jumping to the front of the line.
Amos went up the tunnel to check out that hip injury. West, whichever game you don't get on NBC, you get on Peacock. It all begins at 8 Eastern Time. Tough night to start here. Deebo Samuel had that kick return just across the 30-yard line. Josh, also NBA and NHL ownership with the Devils in the NHL and the 76ers in the NBA. Off to a good start.
And high school and college wrestling.
Oh, that's right. You told me about that.
About 160 pounds or so now. He wrestled about 118, and he may be ready to wrestle somebody right now. Wow, what a performance so far by Seattle.
Jaden Daniels in Washington looking for anything. From the 31, Daniels taking off. He'll come down to the 38-yard line. In a 7, Devin Witherspoon has been active in his return tonight.
Well, it has been Jaden Daniels, the runner here tonight. And let's reiterate, Terry McLaurin is best receiver. Noah Brown's not in there. Austin Eckler's not in there. So they've got some backups in there playing, but there's been nobody open. I think I showed on the first play or so that match zone. Even when they're running routes and trying to get open, these linebackers are running right to them and sticking on them and not letting go.
Chris Rodriguez, third string back, getting this series, and he's got a first down at the 42-yard line. Rodriguez does some good things when he gets in there, and the fans happy to see Dan Quinn's team move the chains here. 3.5 left until halftime. Traylon Burks, Chris Moore, Jalen Lane, the other receivers for Washington tonight with the injury to Luke McCaffrey on the opening kickoff. And that was still there the way this first half would go. Rodriguez tries to change that game and doesn't. Ty O'Connor and Ernest Jones on the tackle. Washington into Seattle territory.
Chris Paul's going to come across here on the trap, gives you a double team there, and for all you people who love offensive line play, I am putting on a clinic here tonight.
Hang on while you pat yourself on the back. Here's Deebo inside.
We got to pick out highlights for a game. You know, I mean, Steph Curry, we don't have Steph Curry out here to hit a 3. I know you love the NBA, but we're going to do the best we can.
I'm enjoying the offensive line. I just didn't know you were going to praise yourself that you were putting on a clinic with it. Watch you try to desperately find a way to get on the board here before halftime. Seattle gets the ball to start the second half. Rodriguez will run it for first down. Keep the ball going.
We should have won.
All right, Maria, we look forward to halftime. Patrick Mahomes only 15 of 34. Really, that second half, really Buffalo pressure. They get the win at home in the regular season matchup with the Chiefs.
We've seen that before. We'll see how it goes later on. But that was a big win for Buffalo. That established something, you know, right away, especially with the way the New England's playing right now.
Just trying to keep up with them.
It's unbelievable.
New England 7-2. Buffalo a half game back at 6-2 with a head-to-head win. And Week 15, Buffalo goes to Foxborough. Start to look at this halfway point of the season. What games in the second half are really going to carry some weight? Playoffs, seeding, and all that stuff. But it gets cold. Time to start turning our attention. Washington just trying to get themselves some positive momentum. Fake to Deebo Samuel in the middle. It's caught by Lane. Takes it into the red zone, the 18-yard line. Jalen Lane comes up with the catch for 15.
And Mike, they are just so spread out in the secondary right now, playing with that lead. That's the way those throws are going to have to be made. Some slants, some catch and run underneath. It's been very difficult all season long for anybody to try and get behind Mike McDonald's defense, and especially when you have a score like this.
Washington has a couple of tight ends out there. And sit it in motion. Chris Rodriguez remains the back for this drive. He's doing a nice job. Some good things happen when he touches the ball for Washington. To the 13-yard line it goes. We're going to get timeout taken here with 1:09 to go. Well, we all woke up to sad news, all of us in our industry at NBC.
First time off call by Mike McDonald.
Passed away, 80 years old, Pro Bowl tight end, decade with the Bengals, Hall of Fame broadcaster as well, a couple of decades at NBC, called to Super Bowls,
Trump,
3
he
Olympics, 3
died.
World Cups, Pete Rozelle Award, Hall of
Sad.
Fame honoring his great radio and TV work and the Cincinnati tie, the radio especially. You followed Bob on the radio in Cincinnati.
He had a lot to do with my getting that job in Cincinnati, and sports talk was world famous in Cincinnati, and such a great guy, and had this booming laugh. You thought you were a stand-up comedian when you went on the show with him. But he went on to NBC, a couple of Super Bowls, he did golf, he did the Olympics, but more than anything, just a great, great friend, and so many people so sad in Cincinnati because he's a legend there. He really is.
Really was. So our thoughts to Bob's family and all of his friends in Cincinnati as well. Don Criqui and Bob Trumpy calling games so many years. He'd worked with so many people at NBC over the years as well. It's one of the middle-class people in our industry and at our company as well. So foundational. I think of Bob Trumpy on this night. That's Ernest Jones from the Seahawks. He was injured on that last play. Rodriguez, Ben Sinnott rolled into his right leg. So concern for the signal caller for that Seattle defense, Tyrese Knight. Drake Thomas says the linebackers for the Hawks. 2nd and 5. Daniels flips it incomplete. Recognize that Seattle had everything covered on that play as Nick Emanwari was coming in with some pressure.
Sure did. Emanwari is showing a little intelligence as well for a young rookie out here. Watch as he gets out. He's going to go wide and force this back inside. Look at him use his athleticism there, stop the play, and force the throw away. He was playing so well, they just couldn't take him out of the lineup.
It brings up 3rd and 5. 5 in the pattern for Daniels on the run, taking off. First down, Daniels sneaks inside to get a couple more yards. Nifty run by Jaden. You can see no ill effects off that hamstring injury. Right around the 1-yard line, 1st and goal for the Commanders.
And you see these defenders, they just jump routes. That may have been a little man under coverage there, but as soon as Jaden Daniels saw that, this is the difference. This is what he can do for this offense. They are explosive, and when I think of him, I always think of Lamar Jackson. Now, Lamar is a little faster and all of that, but he is at his core a pocket passer. He wants to throw it from the pocket, but he's so magical when he gets out.
Play clock running down, 1st and goal from the 1. Off in time, Daniels left to the end zone. Touchdown, Washington. To get on the board, 10 plays, 69 yards.
The offense just expands so much when he's in the game. That was no part of a pass at all. You can see him tuck the ball right away, just a QB sweep. And the one thing we have seen tonight is that Jaden Daniels, even coming off of an injury, has been hyper competitive. He's running hard, he's playing this game, and I guarantee you, he believes they're coming back and winning the game in the 2nd half.
Matt Gay came up with a back injury. This is the Kansas City game. Practice this week. Good warm-ups and good there. And Daniels hits the Commanders up. So Washington trying to ignite their team with Tyler Owens on the tackle. Sam Darnold, perfect on the night. What a first half. Couldn't ask for anything more. And Jaden Daniels, I thought you made a great point, Chris, showing some of that competitiveness on that last drive. We know what an electric player he can be.
And there's very sort of only on the Pacific Northwest only conversation going, but why not Sam Darnold in the MVP conversation? That didn't hurt those numbers.
With the chat with a national TV game like this.
Shot the first down, Jeff.
44-yard line, gain of 20. Seattle with a couple of timeouts in 40 seconds. 14 of 14 for 249.
I mean, he is just feeling it. He's hitting that back foot and throwing like he's been doing this offense his whole life.
Never completed 15 in a row in a game until right now. Across midfield to the 48-yard line with A.J. Barner. Timeout Seattle with 20 seconds left. 15 of 15. Not only his best to start a game, his best at any point in any game.
Second timeout called by Mike
They're
McDonald.
picking up everything that Washington can throw at them. The same sort of blitzes that have been working on Seattle's side, Seattle on the offensive line is picking those up, and Darnold is not flinching at all. He's not even looking. He knows he has it protected on the backside there, stood in, made the throw.
About 10 yards away from Myers' field goal range. Actually, they're in Cam Little's field goal range right now. 68-yarder. Congratulations to the Jacksonville kicker setting the NFL record for the longest field goal in the 105-year history of the league today. 68. Right before the break against Vegas. And that Jacksonville one-point overtime win against Pete Carroll's team. Second and 3. Darnold throwing sideline stuff.
It's caught for first down, Jeff.
You see why he has had the top receiving yardage season thus far in the NFL.
Not a good feeling. Here he is in the backfield again, and this little loop route here to the outside, and Darnold never looked anywhere else. He sees the man-to-man, I'm going to my man. There you go, right in the bread basket, and what a smoking start to this game by Sam Darnold.
He might be down inbounds there. Terry McCauley, bring our rules analyst in. What does that mean?
He is down in bounds. They'll reverse that. That means it goes to a running clock, so Seattle can use their last timeout to avoid the 10-second runoff, or they can go for have the 10-second runoff.
Yeah, but they should take it, so they'll probably have 13 seconds and no timeouts, or the other choice is you have 3 seconds, and you down it, or you just spike it and kick a field goal. It's the choice here. So Bill Vinovich looked at the replay officials in New York. Cue up the replay looks.
Sam Darnold's over there probably selling, let's throw one in the end zone.
16 of 16, 282, 4 touchdowns. A second look at that right foot as that comes down out of bounds. What body part comes down first, inbounds or outs?
So they're saying the shin, right?
It would be. The body part that they're discussing, see if he was down inbounds. Determination of out of bounds in a stop clock or inbounds in a running clock. Smith and Jigba, by the way, 7 catches in this first half, 119 yards. So that is 6 100-yard games already this season.
And you can see they're creating offense for him. Putting him in the backfield, you want to play man coverage, we're going to give our man a little running start at you. Good luck.
So let's take a closer examination of this. It's got it there. What's down first? Knee inbounds before anything else out of bounds.
The runner was down inbounds. By rule, the clock should be running. There's a 10-second runoff. Neither team is elected to take a timeout. Please reset the game clock in 3 seconds. And the wind on the whistle.
Right, so Seattle not going to use
You still got to take the timeout. If you're going to wind on the whistle, that means you either got to have the field goal team out there right now and snap it, or you got to take the timeout. I don't know why they didn't take it. Maybe they didn't want to take the shot at the end zone.
I think it's going to take it.
First round of timeout, Seattle. 30-second timeout.
Okay, so they're just going to take the 10-second runoff and end the half here with the field goal attempt instead of 13 seconds, no timeouts, taking a shot at the end zone.
Wow. Okay.
The way Darnold's rolling,
Yeah.
but then he might have to throw it away to be an incompletion. It would ruin his perfect half.
Yeah,
There you go.
you know, people are going to come back in the second half of this game and see how long that streak goes. We could see an NFL record tonight. Who knows?
We could, so stay tuned for that. Or more in-depth offensive line breakdowns.
Well, either one could bring it back.
Now Jason Myers will come on for the field goal. No one's scored more points in the NFL in the last 5 years. And the 11th year kicker Myers tries to add a 41-yarder to end a 5-possession, 5-score half for Seattle.
Big and successful field goal. Yeah.
Perfection for the guys from the Great Northwest. Field, they gave him time to go 8 for 8 with 4 touchdowns, close to the half in this next-gen stats era since 2016. That's how we've arrived, 31-7. And Washington will kick off Seattle to begin this third quarter. Okay, sends it away. And go to line, muffs it. Gets it back to the 15-yard line, and they'll start shy at the 20. Here's Melissa coming out of the locker room talking to Dan Quinn.
Dan, Sam Darnold was 16 for 16 in the first half. What adjustments can you make on defense to slow him down?
Yeah, the whole thing of it. We missed the whole thing, Melissa. So I told the team here at the half, like, we got to do our best stuff. All 3 phases, all the way to go. Get stops. You're not going to score them all in one drive or get the stops, but we got to get them out of rhythm. We've got to be disruptive. Those are the things that we have to do. We've got to get that done together. Give me 4 or 5 drives, both sides of the ball. We've got to get that done.
Dan, thanks.
Yeah, that lack of a pass rush up front, a big part of the struggles for this Washington team the last few weeks. It begins with a run from Kenneth Walker to the left for a yard to the 20-yard line. You see the energy from Jacob Martin, who made the tackle.
Yeah, and already better, right? We saw early in the first quarter, what did they do? They got everything outside on the edge, so you shut that one off with the first play and good first step. You're right, Jacob Martin, he had a heck of a game last time out, right? A couple sacks in that game.
Against Kansas City. That was a Seattle 6th-round pick back in 2018. A lot of veterans on this Washington team, guys. They're 8th, 9th, 10th year in the league. Darnold scanning, throws it, and is complete. And it's a yard shy of the first down to the 29-yard line with A.J. Barner, so he keeps the roll going. 17 of 17.
He made it to look number 2 that time. Start on one side. A lot of times what Sam would say is that based on the defense, occasionally you can eliminate 1 and 2 and just get off of it once you see it and come straight to the backside. I think that's what you saw based on the defense that time.
Smith and Jigba incomplete. So the first incompletion, it looks like Lattimore, I believe, has come down hobbling on that Washington sideline. He was there covering Marshawn Lattimore, kicked it out of Smith and Jigba's hands. First incompletion for Seattle and Darnold.
Just a little bit short, wasn't it? Gave him a chance to catch up high and away. He had plenty of room to be able to fade outside to that throw, but Lattimore, you can tell he's hurting a little bit.
Michael Dixon with the kick. Lane going back. Passing to 17. Made one man miss, but not the rest as the special teams have been very good with Seattle all year in coverage. Drake Thomas with the tackle. He and Chaz Surratt were right there. Jay Harbaugh, Jim's son, John's nephew, did a heck of a job coaching the Seattle special teams. As Washington and Jaden Daniels take over right around 20. There is Jay. He said when he wanted to get to coaching, his dad suggested following Uncle John's path, the longtime special teams coordinator. You get to know football so well by doing it in that direction. And Jay has done that with this Seattle team. They've got a bunch of really good coverage guys. All right, so Washington did job one. They kept Seattle off the board for the first time tonight. And then Daniels trying to build a drive. Take to the hole, gets to the 26-yard line. Melissa?
Mike, just before the half ended, we saw linebacker Ernest Jones, the leader of the Seahawks defense, get injured. He has been ruled out with a knee injury. He went into the medical tent, and then when he came back out, he showed a ton of frustration and just disappointment. He sat on the bench with a towel on his face, but he's out for the rest of the year.
Big man for that. Chased by the Wilson is Daniels, who flips it to Ertz. Across midfield into Seattle territory, 48-yard line. First down again, 26 for Zach.
We already know Jaden Daniels not going to quit, despite the fact that he got immediate pressure here. Watch him work away from that, step up, eyes down the field, and have to float it in over the top of Eman Mori, and just perfectly done. He's really a pleasure to watch, Jaden Daniels is. He is so competitive. He wants this so badly. And at least so far, this half has started out favorably for Washington.
The last one was 25 yards. Inside for about 3. Jaden Daniels, that first year was just like that smooth escalator ride up to the top. It was so good. This year just been a little bit bumpy, right? Some injuries, all your wide receivers hurt. Just part of what's going to happen if you have a long career in this league. Ask that guy.
But I just think that we also got to see, they won so many close games last year.
Yeah.
With him out of the lineup, they're not winning those close games. This time he picked for his teammate, but he goes bouncing right off the offensive lineman that he picked and straight to the sack. And so many times in this defense, it is the guy who's willing to do the dirty work that ends up getting rewarded.
Pro Bowl last year, 7 years between Pro Bowls. Oh man, it was the Jets' 6th pick back in 2015. Picked up some pressure from Daniels right and from his left. For Debo Samuel. Tricks in the games up front. That twisting Seattle rush. Get Washington off the field after one big play.
Check out Leonard Williams here and watch what he does this time. When he blitzes, everybody panics. And I think a little bit the quarterback too, but drew the double team. And then you can see there's simply nobody left to block on the outside on Derek Hall. So sometimes you get that great player to suck all the attention out of the offensive line, opens it up for other people.
Hunter Tressway is terrific at pinning the opponent back inside the 10-yard line. Torrey Horton back for Seattle. 12-yard line, 38% of his punts have been pinned inside the 20-yard line during his 20-year career. Well, post-Halloween.
It's on a heater like Sam Darnold is. One of the reasons why is that you have those offensive linemen that are keeping that pocket clean, and he's focusing down the field and making those big plays. Almost across the board, it has been a terrific night for this offensive line.
Started the same offensive line all season long. Just one of 4 teams coming into this week with that distinction, the Jets, Atlanta, Pittsburgh, who we saw last week, and we'll see next week against the Chargers. Darnold back on top, Smith and Jigba again. That pass incomplete as the flag.
Interference, Josh.
Former Patriot.
Jonathan Jones.
We're going to get some more action out of the speedster, Jonathan Jones. Let's see here if he showed up just a bit early. I think the ruling was that he pinned that left arm down. Like
penalty, take it out to the 40.
Luigi!
Walker. Nothing there. Melissa, one of the injured Seahawks, still very active tonight.
Yes, well, I talked to Cooper Kupp in pregame, and he said he made the trip here because if he woke up feeling good today, he would have played. That wasn't the case, but he doesn't think that the hamstring injury that he suffered Thursday in practice is anything major, and he hopes to be back next week. He said there's nothing worse than being hurt because you feel so useless. But watching him down here, he's got that earpiece in, he's listening to play calls, he's got the tablet, he's coaching the receivers up, finding many ways to make himself very useful.
And again, those two receivers, their backs there, White and White, both called up to the practice squad. So anything that guy can do, one of the most cerebral, hardest working receivers out there, a bonus for this team. This timeout taken by Seattle 5 minutes into this third quarter. Benefit this has been for Jackson Smith and Jigba as DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett move on away from the Seahawks. Smith and Jigba becomes the #1 receiver, and he's got Kupp there to help him in that transition, in addition to everything Cooper does on the field.
No doubt, and a few tricks of the trade. Cooper Kupp has learned how to beat people a lot of different ways, and not always with sort of 4-3 speed that some of these great ones have.
Pass caught by the rookie Horton, who has 2 touchdown grabs on the night. Brought down quickly. Trey Amos, who's been in and out of the lineup with a hip injury here tonight, still out there working and makes the play.
And we're talking about Jackson Smith and Jigba, and when he was early here in his career in Seattle, he was a slot. And so a little bit like Justin Jefferson. When Justin Jefferson was in college, we didn't always see him playing outside. He was a slot guy, but then we saw what happened in his career. Same thing with JSN right now.
Marshawn Lattimore, for the moment questionable to return. Looking at his knee, 3rd and 4 for Darnold. Reloads, fires, intercepted by Mikey Saberstill. So Darnold with only one incompletion on the night. Off the spot, off time, reloaded, and Saberstill comes up with his 3rd pick of the year, and his 5th in his first 2
Mike
years.
States with Steely got this upset.
Now the first ugly play by Sam Darnold, and the protection once again was almost perfect. Darnold had time to go through his progressions. Instead he ended up trying to scramble and throw back across his body. It's just a mistake we have not seen him make, certainly tonight, but for the most part this year. And he knows there was no reason.
Interception number 5 thrown by Darnold. Lattimore out. Saberstill steps up for this Washington defense, and now good field position here for Jaden Daniels. And Chris Rodriguez had a good drive at the end of the first half. Is back in and leading the way as Deebo Samuel sees a whole bunch of blue shirts come over to limit the gain to a couple of yards.
Yeah, and there's some backups playing in there right now, right? We don't have Julian Love playing there. Ernest Jones is out. But Tyrese Knight, number 48, who's playing linebacker in there now, was the starter at the beginning of the year. So he and Drake Thomas have to take over the operation. But because of the lead, we're still seeing these 2 deep safeties. So it's going to either have to be Jaden Daniels running or shorter, quicker throws in order to get back in.
Rushing 4 here on 2nd and 7. Daniels gets out of 1 hit, keeps going, and stopped a couple of yards shy of that first down. Slippery run by Daniels. Seattle couldn't get a clean hit on him.
Yeah, and Leonard, you know, like at the Kentucky Derby, they have the horse running alongside the other horses getting ready to run in the Derby. Leonard Williams is going to grab him and just kind of escort him for a little bit there. But that's a bad feeling as a runner of the football. You're having somebody hold you up while these other guys are coming in and taking shots at your belly. You He's a gutsy kid. He really is, Jaden Daniels.
Even on 3rd and 1, Rodriguez, the linebacker, Thomas, filling the gap there, but Rodriguez pushes forward for the first down, shy of the 40-yard line. Here's Rodriguez, year 3. You mentioned the Derby. He's out of Kentucky.
There we go. And it's frustrating. I'm sure the fans of the Commanders are saying, throw it deep, throw it deep. Well, it's not there.
Sprinting right, Daniels on the run. He's going to take the yard before Boye Mafe can get a good lick on him. And limit the gain. Again, if you are just joining us, Luke McCaffrey for the Commanders out in the first half. So the offensive options downfield for Cliff Kingsbury a bit limited, as it has been all season long.
It's so funny, Mike. As soon as I say they don't have the opportunity to throw it down the field, they rotated the safeties and they had somebody open in the corner. That was their one shot at a big play. Here comes the blitz again off the right side. Shane completely busted it. They're not checking out of it.
He's calling timeout there. Nobody saw him call a timeout. Play clock was running down, not enough time to make the adjustment. Each team's used the timeout here in the 3rd.
So you're going to get a 3 deep
Those
early
timeouts
for
called
one of the few
by
times
Tim
tonight. So they do have an opportunity to get this corner route in, especially as Jaden Daniels ran that way. So an opportunity maybe to hit it right there, and they did not. So even when opportunity presents itself, unable to take advantage of it.
Jalen Lane, the receiver who was breaking towards the pylon. Mentioned Noah Brown's injury. If you just think of that core, that main core for this Washington offense in terms of the pass game, which would be Daniels at quarterback and the top 2 receivers, Terry McLaurin and Deebo Samuel, they've only played about a 1/5 of the season together, 20%, and almost no practices as McLaurin was doing the contract deal and not participating in training camp. So it just never got on rhythm for this Washington offense this year.
It did. It just did.
2nd and 9 becomes 2nd and 14.
Ball studs.
Offensive 86. 5-yard penalty. Still second out.
That's their 7th. That's what Washington averages
Zach
a year.
Ertz
That's a
jumped
couple
too
of
early.
Zach Ertz false starts here tonight.
And everybody wants to try so hard and get moving and make a play, and you had a little momentum, and tough when your veteran guys are involved too. You know the young guys are going to do it on occasion. I'll tell you, Zach Ertz, though, other than Travis Kelce, he is, whereas tight ends play, he's at the top of the list, guys.
Every category. Daniels. He's tied up in the pocket and finally closed in on. He ran out of space to Marcus Lawrence with the last word on that one, but Byron Murphy had him as well.
Well, what's happening is Jaden Daniels doesn't have anywhere to go with the ball. Let's watch what's happening. The coverage down the field. There's Reek Woolen all over Deebo. Maybe an opportunity, but it really looked like he was covered up by Tyrese Knight. And when you have to go past number 3 as a quarterback, you're going to get hit.
Especially this front. They roll them. They're bringing 5. They twist a lot. Flag down as Daniels gets rid of it. Someone from Lane. Almost intercepted by Reek Woolen. But the penalty is they were trying to protect Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, we're looking at another chop block, I do believe.
Personal foul. Jump block. Offensive 26.
Yes.
Once the tackle's engaged, you cannot come across as the running back and cut that pass rusher. Obvious safety issues, and it's been a good rule.
Larry Tunsil, arms on him high. As Drake Thomas was coming in. So 4th and 15 with the penalty declined. Washington will keep the offense out there and go for it. as the 15-yard penalty was not taken by Seattle.
This is what they always talk about with instead of the onside kick.
Just thinking the same thing.
And I'm like, okay, I can watch a 4th and 15 instead of an onside kick. Let's do it.
We did see an onside kick recovered today. Bengals game against the Bears. Here's the pressure. Daniels spinning. Got away. Taking off. Can he get there? No.
Did not get the first down, Jeff.
The veteran gets to Daniels' feet. And Seattle's defense with the hold. Leonard Williams. Give me that dive. Just got it on the shoe. Way to go.
On Peacock.
Sunday Night Football is brought to you by Toyota, the official automotive partner of the NFL. Let's go places. And by Walmart. Shop early Black Friday deals online. One of the top-ranked teams in the country, Samantha, beating Gonzaga 42-14 Friday night, improving to 9-0 on the season. Beating the alma mater, Caleb Williams. By Chicago before Daniels was taken by Washington. Caleb and the Bears getting victory. Again, we referenced just a moment ago against Cincinnati. Chicago's at 5-3 for Ben Johnson at the halfway point of this season. Charbonnet with his first down run. He'll gain about 6 to the 46-yard line. Seattle scored 24 in the second quarter. 3 touchdowns in a 4-minute and 18-second stretch to blow this game open. Sam Darnold opened up 17 for 17. 18 of 20 on the night right now. Nobody open downfield. Pitching forward to
Got the first down, Jeff.
Charbonnet takes it inside the 35.
Oh, got penalty flag.
Gain of a dozen and a first down, depending on what the flag is.
There's a receiver that went down in the middle of the field.
Burton pass. Holding. Stevens.
Yes.
Seamer still, who just had the interception at the end of the last drive.
He's out there fighting, right? Let's see what happens. There you go. But diving, pitching. That's a confident quarterback right there.
You're hot, right?
Yeah, ride it. I'll tell you who else is hot. Charbonnet's had a nice night here.
Run to the left. Better defensive half from the Commanders. And a gain of a couple.
You know, it's kind of interesting, Mike, that as an offensive play caller, we're seeing Clint Kubiak here. They've been playing much wider here to cut this off, so they're running more inside zone kind of stuff here with some of the cutback. But really, Washington's reacted fairly well to that. But as soon as you start overcommitting to that run, we're in trouble. They have not been playing the amount of man coverage this half, though, they did early in the game. I think they're convinced now they can't cover them.
Complete to Arroyo. Caught a touchdown, his first touchdown in the NFL earlier in the game. The gain of about 3 yards. Chris, we'll go back to the issues for Washington up front. Their defensive line injuries, pressure on the quarterback just is not happening for them. And you see it just having a toll as the year goes on.
So they've got 6 down defensive linemen, and between them they have 3 sacks. Johnny Newton has 2, Deron Payne has 1. So you almost are forced into pressure situations from the linebacker, which then forces you into man coverage on the back end. And they're flashing like they're going to play man, but the secondary, well, maybe they are.
Got the first down, yeah.
At the 18-yard line for a first down. Catch number 8 for JSU. and he's got a $1.29 on the
Yeah, so you're thinking they've got two safeties. They're not going to do anything, but here they come late, walking down there so they can play the man coverage. Good job on the part of Sam Darnold, recognizing that, coming right back to his man look with his main man.
100 for the 6th time, tying a Seattle record.
Got the first down, yes.
The line for the first down over the 7, but that flag comes in from the back end.
Oh, we got penalty flag.
Personal foul, face mask, defensive over.
Yes!
Tack it on. Grab and twist. And add to it.
Pretty gutsy there by Kenneth Walker to get his body completely flipped around and still keep running backwards.
I mentioned earlier the record of the 100 yards 6 times this year for Jackson Smith and Jigba already. Only here in game 8 for Seattle, and of course ties Steve Largent's record. Anytime it's tying a record for Seattle receivers, that's the normal guess. Dan Quinn wants it, takes timeout. Washington's second, they'll have 1 left, but they broke the huddle with 12 out there, so is it timeout first?
Timeout.
Yep.
Washington.
Second timeout's called by Dan Quinn.
The timeout. Steve Largent, you see these jerseys. It's a throwback night for Washington. They are debuting their Super Bowl era jerseys inspired by those Super Bowl wins in 82, 87, and 91. And these royal blue throwbacks that Seattle has come back with pretty strong as well.
Seattle and New England, I was calling that Super Bowl. They're down on this end of the field. I don't think I'll ever recover from that Super Bowl. I'm not sure they ever have either. But it was an amazing moment for the New England Patriots to find a way to win that one. But this was a team as good as there was, right?
That Seattle stretch?
Yeah, 13-14, that 4 or 5 years where they were the #1 defense. Bobby Wagner, who's playing for Washington, a big part of it.
Dan Quinn was the defensive coordinator for those Super Bowls.
Richard Sherman, go right down the list. They had some real players on that team.
Seahawks celebrating their 50th anniversary this season. Josh Jones, 74 at the end of the line, is eligible for the Seahawks. First and goal, darting towards the end zone, incomplete for Carter. And AK was covered by Frankie Luvu. That Legion of Boom you were talking about, Chris, that defense and the numbers that they put up over those years in Seattle. Earl and Cam and Sherm and Bobby Wagner still going. That bottom line is something Sherman brings up. Bobby Wagner told us when they all get together and they talk about it, led the NFL in points allowed each season for 4 years. Remarkable runs in NFL history. Kenneth Walker inside. He's pulled around and down and shy of the goal line. Walker with the 1 3rd and goal here late in the 3rd quarter.
Mike, maybe the thing that's impressed me the most so far with this offense is this offensive line seems to be maturing today.
Good.
And Ray Zabel, we knew he was a first-round draft pick at left guard. Jalen Sundell, his former teammate, North Dakota State. But Anthony Bradford's had a better night tonight at the right guard position, and he was the one that sort of improved it.
Touchdown, yeah.
Push, snap, and runs in the touchdown. And extends it out to 37-7.
Do you think that's the way football used to be played when they first brought everybody together? You just smushed into a pile and saw who could move.